Good morning, my man.
How you doing,
Jas
brother?
Takhar, my business partner, my partner in crime, really. And we're going to be sharing some really cool stuff today. So good morning, my man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm excited, man.
Thank you for carving out the time.
For sure.
We have been extremely busy the last 60, 90 days. And when I say extremely busy, I'm talking about from when COVID kind of hit, and myself and you found ourselves in strategy rooms.
For sure.
Talking like,
virtually, though.
well, in the beginning, both in person and then virtually, really kind of talking about, is the world going to end? What is this going to mean for our business? Like, I mean, we just spent 15 years building something, and now we get hit with something that we have no idea what it is. Nobody knew what it is. Nobody knew how to act. The NBA had just shut down the day before.
Yeah.
There was cancellation after cancellation. We had a full
Feels
calendar.
like it was years ago that happened, though, right? But it wasn't that long ago.
So you can swear on this one. This was fucking weird. And we had a full schedule of meetups, speaking engagements, appearances, real estate live events for investors that all got canceled in like what took almost a year to put together. Like, if you think of a funnel of how things come together, it took a year to book.
Yeah, see, and I'm not sure if you remember, we not only did we have the events booked, but we actually had the flights booked, the hotels booked.
Yes.
You had Bobby going with you
Yes.
right across the country.
We just came back from Vancouver.
I know, 4 or 5 days before, right? Now, I think we were lucky because real estate still got deemed as an essential service.
Of course.
So to everyone else out there, well, to a lot of people, let's say, you have a background in the restaurant business. How many restaurants got closed, right? Stores. But we were able to pivot. We were able to pivot very, very quickly.
So let's talk about that. So I can tell you that, I'm going to tell the entire audience right now, and this is by no means coming from an ignorant position or a pounding my chest position. During the time of COVID, we've had a record quarter.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do of taking advantage of COVID, because there was nothing to take advantage of.
Yeah.
What we did do is we pivoted and we used our brand. And today is going to be a personal brand.
Okay.
Because not everybody has a mega team, not everybody has a team.
Right.
We are in that section of mega team. We're at last year we were engaged as a mega team. We had 25 agents.
Yep.
We're at 33 this year, so we've grown. So we are a mega team. We are Canada's #1 team for Royal LePage in volume and transaction volume. So we do have definitely a few things to share with you from a team perspective. But what I want to really bring Jas on for today is I want him to kind of really dive into the mental game that it took, because the execution is one thing, and not everybody can execute, especially for this long consistently.
Yeah.
But the mental game that drove the decision for us to go down a path of branding.
Right.
When that happened, what were your thoughts? I can share my thoughts.
Sure.
But what were your thoughts around building the brand a specific way? And what do we think the benefits were?
Well, look, I think personal branding, first and foremost, is the new buzzword for the last 2 years, right?
Sure.
But if you carve it down, it really is just your reputation. It just happens to be a lot of it's done like this now digitally. But at the end of the day, it's what your reputation is. Back in the days, you're from Greece, and if you look at it, like even till this day, the people sit around the coffee shop in Greece and they talk about their experiences they had at a restaurant, at a movie, if they went out to a party or something, they talk about the experience. Personal branding is just that, except now it's done digitally. And so my thought process at that time, going back to say about 2 years ago now, was, okay, it would be beautiful if we get to speak to the whole world and we get out there and we become these celebrities and people talk about us. But my focus primarily was on our clients. Is there something that we can give them, something in their toolbox, some type of artillery where they can go speak to their friends and family about us? So for 15 years in the real estate business, but it's been 25 years of sales and service for me. Like, I've always had to go out and say, hey, Bobby, if you know somebody that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing, or if they're thinking about buying a car, if they want shoes, I had to go in for that hard referral.
Of course.
Where 2 years ago, the thought process for me anyways was, okay, if I can just have Bobby, my REC insider, have something in his toolbox, i.e. a podcast, just happened to be I chose the podcast, more, and we'll go into that why it was the podcast I chose. And it was out of really necessity. But I wanted him to have something to talk to his friends and family about. Instead of him saying, oh, I got a great realtor. Hey guys, you okay with checking out this podcast, REC Experience? They talk about education. Some of them are good looking or not. You're probably better than I am in that sense.
Clearly.
But, right. But here's something that you can listen to. Go get educated. And then in turn...
So you're talking specifically creating value before you ask for anything.
Way before. I want to go really upstream, right? Okay. Like I wanted to make sure that there was something that our clients had something to talk about. That's it. What's happened, which generally happens anyways, is that you get in front of other opportunities. Now, I mean, we're speaking to right across the world. I mean, at the time of this recording, we're throwing the first ever real estate marathon, 12 hours of education on investing in real estate. 2 years ago, I had no clue. I had no thought process of doing that, right? And so I really think that first and foremost, you need to understand that the word personal branding, in my opinion, it scares people, right? Because, oh my God, I gotta brand myself, and like, did I get a fresh haircut? Is my hair did? Is my nails did? All that kind of stuff. Where if you just look at it, just from a basic point of view, basic perspective, which is, what's going to be my reputation? What do I want people to speak about? So the actual definition of branding is what are people saying about you when you're not in the room?
Yeah. I had Samantha Hewitt on a couple weeks ago.
Love her. She's amazing.
What did she say about reputation? We were talking about fake it till you make it. Like, what do we believe in that whole thing? Because you have a lot of people who are huge now that have publicly and very openly said, I had to fake it till I made it, etc., etc. I personally can't even stand the thought of it.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's not for everyone. Like, everything that I say is not a judgment on anyone. Anybody do whatever
it's your opinion.
That works for you. Yeah. Me personally, I cannot keep lying. I don't ever want to be in that position where I have to, in front of people, put myself in a predicament like, oh, what did I say last time? Like, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Well, look, in the real estate business, because I know we're speaking to brokers here, you're not selling shoes.
No.
When you are, that transaction happens within 7 to 14, 20 minutes. Real estate takes 7 to 14 months sometimes with the relationship that you need to build. The lie will come out.
What did Sam say? Reputation is the only thing that you always carry with you.
For sure.
Maybe not your briefcase, maybe you forgot your keys.
For sure.
But your reputation, maybe, not only does it come with you, sometimes precedes you.
Yeah. 100%.
So if somebody were to look at a guest list, walking into a cocktail party, you go one of those fancy ones where they have your table number and your name.
I like that,
Somebody sees your name, and you were that guy, they're going to be like,
Well, look, I mean, we have 18, 20 speakers lined up and for this real estate marathon. And each and every one of them, we gave them an image. Once we put their name somewhat like on that cocktail list, the attendees flocked in.
Correct.
Why? Because their reputation precedes them. Going back to what you were saying in terms of fake it till you make it. Look, I get it. I get why people do it. It's that quick fix, right? And we live in that society. I mean, with social media, how quickly can I get likes? How quickly can I get? Like, I understand it. It is what it is for
100%.
us. It just wasn't what we were looking to do. And here's the other thing. I get this question a lot too, right? With all the content that we do, like, what is the secret sauce? What is it? And I think the number one thing is authenticity. So much so that if you really if you get to know both you and I, we're this is who we are. Me personally, sometimes I have a stutter. Like, you could tell my hands are sweaty right now. I'm not nervous. I do this 1,000 times. I've been with you 1,000. It's something, it just is what it is. But once I decided to put it out there, you yourself, you weren't comfortable with camera. Now you need 67 of them around you, And so it was the authenticity, those brunches that we were doing. And for anybody who didn't check out the brunch, just go to our YouTube playlist. You'll see 13, 14 brunches that we did.
That's REC Experience.
Yeah, on YouTube. And we did 13, 14 online brunches. The first one we did, we weren't sure. We were feeling each other out. How are we going to come across?
We did know that we had to do it.
100%. That was a no-brainer because we needed to get out there. Especially during the COVID time.
I just remember the conversation. I called you. It must have been a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like in that mismatch of days.
Oh, those days, like back in those days, everything was a Saturday to me.
and I remember saying, Jazzy, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we gotta do
something.
Something.
And Jazzy's like, bro, I was about to say we gotta do something.
And look, I mean, we branded it as an online brunch. You could have done a cocktail
No, but that's
hour.
after.
Yes.
That's after.
Yeah.
Stick to the thought.
For sure.
Why did we have this need?
Yeah.
So this is what I want to relay onto the brokers out there.
Yeah.
The guys who are thinking like, what do I do? Do I have to overthink it?
Yeah.
Why do you think both you and I, which happens all the time,
right,
at the same time, have those feelings?
Well, because we understand that in the business that we're in, you have to get out there. You have to speak loud. When I say speak, you don't have to do video. It could be audio. It could be written word. It could be drawing. I don't care what it is. You need to get out there. Why? Because I'm telling people that are watching right now, we have close to 2,000 people registered for this webinar. We had, I don't know, collectively, a little over 10,000 people that watched our 13, 14 brunches, okay? Out of those, majority of people were brand new. So, Joe Blow, if you're watching, chances are it was your client. And so if you're not doing it, they're going to go somewhere else. Where do we spend majority of our time? We spend majority of our time on our phones.
Yes.
Right? Like even now I was panicking, like literally 2 seconds ago, I'm sure the camera caught. I'm like, where the heck is my phone? Because I know I'm gonna need to get to it right after we're done. So that's why, knowing that the awareness is on people's phones, if you're not producing content, your clients, I guarantee you,
are consuming somebody else.
It might happen this year, next. Now, if you're watching and you've been in the business for 40 years, 50 years, and you're gonna retire, and I mean like you're old as shit and you're gonna retire.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done. Don't even, stop now if you want. Don't listen to anything I'm saying or you're saying about producing content.
But if you're not.
And I'm not talking about retiring like I'm going to go chill and smoke some weed on Jamaica on the beach and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to kill it and crush it and then and go relax. I'm talking about, like, if you're old and you're done. But if you're not, you better get out there. You better start producing content because those clients are coming to us. And if it's not us, it's somebody else. I'm not saying that we're the only outfit in town.
Definitely not.
But if you haven't started to consider, and you don't need to, we produce 20 pieces of content daily on all the platforms. Okay, so podcasts, YouTubes, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those kind of things. 20 a day. I'm not saying you need to get to that. Just start with one, and then it will start to snowball.
So I think I know why we had the need going back. And the more I think about it, and like this is now, like I'm kind of trying to figure
reliving
out,
it.
I am reliving it. Because what we had done is the world had shut down. We immediately, as community leaders, and I pride myself as one, and I know you pride yourself as one, as community leaders, we immediately took to the phones to make sure that any of our people, because it was shock in the beginning. Forget how it turned out. In the beginning, the people were shocked, people were scared, and people were very uncomfortable.
Dude, I thought it was going to be, we were like, take a 2-week vacation, right? Correct. This is going to last 2 weeks.
Correct. So, but we made sure that people were called to make sure, do you need groceries? Is anybody sick? Is there anything we can do to help? We don't know how to help, but is there anything we can do to help? We were craving, we wanted to make sure that we had the attention of the people that we've always had the attention of. Mm-hmm. So when those 2 weeks passed and we didn't, like, I think that's where our need to do something came from. Like, what is happening to our people? Why are we not... we're not speaking to them. We're not engaged.
We're not engaged, and that felt really weird, especially what we were coming off of in 2019 in the first 2-3 months of 2020, which was massive growth
in attention.
In attention, yes. Right? Where everybody was talking about us in our community, where I can tell you, like, at that time I was like, how do we get back out? Look, I think everyone that's watching right now needs to understand that yes, we are in sales, but you're really in sales and service. You're in sales and service. So what we were able to do in that first 2-week period,
your sale is service.
Your sale is service, but you need to service, right? And we went into farming mode. We went into farming mode, which is tough for people to do, especially the high producers, high achievers that we're talking. We're talking to the 1% here, right? The 1% of the 1% kind of thing, right? And so this group of people, you wake up and you hunt. That's
Yes.
what you do. Don't stop that, but you need to, in my opinion anyways, you need to understand that you also need to put some time, you need to lay those seeds down, right? And water those seeds. And for us, that's what we did in that first 2, 3, actually a month. In fact, if we look back, you spoke about it earlier, like in terms of record breaking. The first month, we did not write a deal.
Correct.
And I mentioned...
Well, with intent too.
Well,
we weren't looking to write a deal.
Yeah, well, there was a
we
couple
were
of...
looking to figure it out.
Yes, but in the 3-week period, I did write a couple of contracts. They went south. The deals didn't happen, right? And so for me, as somebody who writes deals all the time, like, that's tough to deal with. But I understood we need the patience. We need the patience. Talking about record breaking, and this is not, again, like to impress anyone. It's really to impress upon people the amount of data that we have now and what we were able to accomplish, because they should reach out to you. They should be reaching out to you and say, how the fuck did you do this? We were able to write a little over $1.5 million in real estate commissions in a 98-day period.
How many deals is that, Jas?
There was a little over 62 deals right now that we were able to write. And at one point, I actually, like for the last, I think it's about 12 days now at the time of this recording, purposely, I went back into farming mode. Because I said, yeah, we can continue hunting. But at some point, we might cut the golden goose's head off. The golden goose is our clients, the guys that have given us so much. Why don't we go back into farming mode? And now we are. So we took this 12, 13 days off. We're still, collectively, it will be probably 30 days of not writing a deal now.
I want to make sure people understand. We're talking to brokers, and I don't care if you're a real estate broker, mortgage broker, insurance broker. If a lot of our clients are here because they're growing their real estate investing businesses.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I love that you said it's a real estate investing business. Sorry.
So hear this and understand this. When Jas is going down saying farming mode, if you have a database, call it of 10 people, and the message goes out, 4 people act. The message goes out. Out of the 4 people, 2 people strike again, and another 2 people strike again. Eventually, you're rinsed. This database can do no more.
Yeah.
Farming is when you go out with intent, with strategy, with thought, with value to create a new stream of infrastructure into the database.
For sure. And look, I mean, when you talk about farming, we got to be like, I know
how
who
does
we're
somebody
speaking.
new?
Yeah.
But how does somebody new
Yeah.
act like somebody who's your top fan already? So if in your database, and this is something that everybody has to understand, that when you talk about patience,
Yes.
we're not talking about sitting around the clock waiting and looking at the oven for cookies to bake.
No.
We're talking about, so there's a database of, we have a database of 5,000 people. Let's just call it 5.
Okay.
5,000 people
Yep.
that know us, that have been with us, that we've been nurturing, that we've been educating. When we do a brand new campaign and 600 people come in this month,
Yes.
or 1,000 people come in this month, if Jas were to have an expectation that the 1,000 new people are going to act and react to his message the same way the 5,000 people do, you'd be the biggest clown in town.
100%.
These people don't know him.
Yeah.
These people don't know the REC.
Yeah.
These people don't know our brand. It caught their attention. You created value. They came in.
Incubation mode. So
Now it's our job to do what?
to provide more value, okay, and you do it with patience, okay. So patience, what you're speaking of, have the patience for the results to come, okay. The results will come if you're consistent, but you, in my opinion, again, you need to have speed in the execution of providing that value. Hence why we do 20 pieces of content daily.
So give me right now. This is Broker's Playbook.
Yeah.
What is the playbook for somebody? I think we've really pressed the message of
Yep.
the branding and how
Right.
we do things.
Yeah.
And we could go on this for days. And if you guys want to see more of this, if you guys want to dive a little deeper into our organization, we share everything. There
Yeah.
is no secret sauce here.
Right.
This is 100% sweat
we love
equity.
pies and we keep on baking.
That's
them,
right. So if anybody wants more, we can. Why don't we give like a 3 to 5 step
Yeah.
that somebody can take today, something simple that if done consistently
Yep.
will give them a result. So give me your top 5 steps, like and it can be anything that you feel in any order. Give me a playbook for a broker that can implement something today.
Well, look, I mean, if you don't have a place to house people, names, numbers, emails, and mailing addresses, shut this off right now
CRM.
and go get a CRM.
Get a CRM.
You know, customer relation management or whatever these names
Got
are.
it.
It's a database. You need something to make. It can't be an Excel sheet anymore because you need reminders, birthdays, simple things like that. Did they open up your email? There's 52 of them. In my opinion, they're all the same. Do not spend a lot of time on picking one. Just get one and get it done. There's a reason there's a sign behind me here that says ready, fire, aim. Just pick one, okay? Then I want you to understand that you need to touch them in some way, and we'll talk about this, okay? Physically, virtually, whatever it is, at least 30 times a year. Okay. Now people might think, how the heck am I going to get to Bobby, my client, or Bobby, my?
You said touch.
Touch. Okay. So that's 30 times a year. And
So give me examples of touches.
Two emails a month is 24 touches already.
Yep.
Okay. So now another 6 touches. Okay. Very easy to do if you were able to do live events. And look, I mean, at the time of this recording, we're in phase 3.
Is it a lot to expect 1 call a quarter?
It's nothing. Well,
Every 3 months, is it too much to expect?
So I'll give them the exact playbook that we do.
Please.
We instead of, so we've done for 10 years, we did once every 4 months, and then our clients gave us the feedback and saying, it's a little too much. So what we did is once every 3 months. Okay. Once every 4 months we've done. Okay.
From 3 months we went to 4 months.
From 3 months we went to 4 months. Okay. Simple call. Simple call. Hi Bobby, how you doing today? Is there anything that I can do for you? The mindset needs to be that you're not calling them for real estate business. Is there anything that I can give to you? Is there an electrician that you might need? Is there a plumber that you need? Is there an investment property that you might? Do you have an appetite for an investment property? That's as simple as it is.
How are your tenants?
How
I
are
don't
your
have
tenants?
any tenants.
Great.
Have you thought of getting some
Growing an
tenants,
investment
bro?
portfolio. Great, okay? So you're, again, providing value. You're not doing what everyone else does. I'm sorry to say, especially to the ones that are watching here that are the 1%. You understand that, but there is people who are starting out. The bar's set really low in this industry. You don't have to jump that high. Don't ask people to buy or sell or invest with you. Give them the value. So that's number 2. Then, that's in terms of touching. That's that 1 phone call every 4 months. You have 2 emails a month. That's 24. We're at 25 touches. You have a mailer that you can send out. Then I would do online webinars. In today's world, you have to go out there. Some way, somehow, you have to get out there and speak. Now, if you're concerned about speaking in front of a camera, just be the interviewer. Right? Like one of the easiest jobs that I took on is being an interviewer. Because why? At the start I had a piece of paper, I had 3 questions lined up. It's the same 3 questions. CMOS, right now, CMOS is asking me the questions. I'm doing the heavy lifting here.
Correct.
Right? And so vice versa, when you're the interviewer, if you're an agent, just bring on a mortgage person, a real estate lawyer, a home inspector. The list goes on and on.
Well,
you'll have more people than you need.
You know
what are they
your
looking
people.
for?
What are they looking for?
What are they?
So that's always the preamble. You have to give it some thought. You can't just do, to copy what somebody else is doing is not necessarily going to give you success in what you're doing.
Well, to that point, Simos, because I want to make sure that I bring context and bring value to everyone here as well, and I know that's your mission here, is that I believe that you should start copying.
No problem.
So imitate, right?
No, but I'm saying put some thought behind your audience.
Yes, for sure.
Who do I know?
For sure.
If I was a school teacher,
Yeah.
and I got into real estate,
Yeah.
and all my friends are school teachers, if I start talking about flipping,
Yeah.
in doing general contracting, chances are I'm not going to be well received because they're all paper pushers.
Yeah, for sure.
So if your audience has no clue or no appetite to do a flip, it would be foolish to cover flips.
Right.
What maybe would be a good idea, your audience is clearly all of them would have an RSP.
Right.
So speaking about how to use your RSP in real estate might be a good idea.
And you don't have to be the one to talk about it.
And you don't have
there's
to be-
57 companies that do
Love
it.
it.
Reach out to Simos. He'll let you know the ones that we work with, and we'll make the introduction. So I want to go back to the 5
Yes.
the 5 tips as well. So you start off with having a CRM. Then you got to understand that you need to be in touch with them. Then what I think you need to do is make sure that you're not, again, asking for the business, meaning even when you're producing content. So the one thing that we did with all the content that we produce is we've never really at the end asked for business. Now, to a lot of people that would be like, well, you don't have the call to action. We're not here for the next 30 days or the next 12 months. We're thinking about our business in the next 60
Maybe
months.
that is the call to action.
Right? And that is, well, great. Yeah. The lack of call to action is the call to action. Where we're just saying, here's all the information. Right? Here's all the information.
Come back. Nothing is expected of you.
Here's one of the easiest tips. You can literally copy what we have, or if you're a realtor broker, I'm sure you've sold some homes. Write a little guide, a 5-page guide on the process. Now, you can call it a guide. If you put in maybe how to sell the home and how to invest, as we did, this is a little over 110 pages. You can call it a book. It's a free book. This is actually our business card. This is the business card. I don't actually have cards. I don't think you do either. Maybe you do. But all we do is hand those books out. There's a section in there and teaches people how to sell their own home. Brokers are losing their shit, like in our office and in around us, saying, what are you doing teaching people how to sell your home? Well, we know that only 2% of the nation ever does it. What are we focused on these 2% FSBOs for? Like, don't waste any bandwidth on
Jas,
them. Focus on the 98.
Brother, I'm just saying, like, I have the right, and I can, if I go on YouTube, change the oil in my truck.
Exactly.
I would like you to ask me how many times I've changed the oil in my truck.
Exactly. Well, Simos, I had a problem
Judging
with...
by these hands, I can tell you never.
Dude, I had a problem with my alternator a couple of weeks ago. Legit, I put it in the shop. They said it's going to take a week. I said, do me a favor, keep the car, get me a new car. Like, that's who I am. I'm very busy. I don't have the time. I'm never a spark plug, an oil. Like, that's not happening. So yes, most people will never sell their own home. Stop focusing on the 2%. Focus on that 98% of people. Then I think that I want to go to the fourth tip now. The fourth is grow out the team. So if you're a single agent, you need to stop being a single agent. And a team is just 2 people. So now you can also brand yourself as a team, okay? You need admin. The first hire you should do is an admin person. Why? Because as a broker, you do not need to print listings. You're not the best CMA puller in the world. And if you are, delegate it. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna free up so much more time, so then you can stop saying to yourself and to other people that I don't have enough time to produce content. You're gonna be able to delegate a lot of the putting up the lock boxes. I mean, I myself, so everybody gets an understanding, I haven't touched a computer for 3 years.
So can I let me interject with one thing?
For sure.
Would you rather be doing your own CMA, or would you rather be strategically putting thought behind and making a video that's gonna touch 100, 200 of your clients in the next 48 hours? I don't care how much you like video or how much you don't like video. Answer that question.
Yeah.
Would you rather be doing an amendment,
Yeah.
or would you rather be strategically doing something that's going to grow your business? That is what building a team around you will accomplish.
Well, Simos, I mean, let's take it right down to the micro of it. So we said 62 deals, call it 60 just to lower it, to round it down. I don't have an authenticator.
Correct.
I don't know how to get on MLS anymore. That's because I don't need to know.
Well, I just want you to know that it's an app now.
Yeah, it's an app, is it? See, there you go. I didn't even know it changed to an app, brother. Why? Because you and I don't need to focus on that. Like, you obviously more because you're actually handling the team. You need to, the questions you field, need, that's part of your expertise. That's part of what you bring to the table. But you don't, like, I no longer need to pull out what a home sold for. Somebody else handles that. I'm having the call with the client. Let me build out a strategy for the offer. Let me build out a strategy on how to list this home. I mean, you and I more with our client base focus on investment portfolios. And if you're not doing that yet, you need to get in touch with Simos, because shifting our business to investors was the biggest game changer that we ever were part of. Content and branding and all that definitely was very high up there, but changing our mindset to investors was the biggest thing. And so
turning what we did, it's not just investors, how to turn anyone into an investor.
Exactly. Great point.
Easy.
Great point.
I don't know if the camera catches.
Well, there's a sign here that says removing friction. Make it as easy as possible for people to do business
and that's
with you.
just it.
And so then the fifth tip is to bring this whole conversation to full circle is producing content. The content game for us was one of, again, the biggest game changers, along with the conversation we just had about investing. But because what that did was allowed us to touch our clients more and more, give them the artillery as well, but we became more referable. we became more referable. We removed the friction in that process.
In a referral, just so everybody really understands the world that we live in and the importance of Jas's message, a referral now isn't exactly an email introduction or a phone call. I'm sending you somebody. It's somebody going to Facebook or Instagram, going in the comments and putting at their friend's name.
That's a good point.
At a friend's name. That means that they want them to watch this video. The referral just fucking happened.
Yeah, it just happened for sure.
It just
happened.
happened.
Now, look, in the producing of the content, just to give some quick tips on that, what I would tell everybody, just do what you're most comfortable at. I've said it, I think, earlier today. If you watch any of our other content, we drum it down to all salespeople, let alone just real estate people. But if you're not comfortable in front of the camera and you're worried about everything, don't do the camera. That's why actually the podcast started for me, because I was like, I don't like these cameras. Excuse me, I'm not comfortable with them. The mic was easy for me to understand because I grew up in telephone sales. And so for me to turn on a mic, it was actually very easy because I was like, nobody's ever told me they never liked the sound of my voice. I've done it so many times. Then the camera came on. And so you might even say, look, I hate the sound of my voice. I hate the cameras, but fuck, I can write. Like you, I use you as the example all the time when I'm doing this by myself. I'm saying that, look, if CMOS needs to turn this into some type of long form blog, an essay or whatever you call these long form things, I write everything in my subject line in the emails. You'll one of the best I've ever seen. One of the best I've ever seen, but that's a skill set that he has. And so if you have that skill set, go long form. If you think people don't read still, you're wrong. There's a site called medium.com. There's 150 million users a month. It's the YouTube, as YouTube is for videos, this is for writers. Now you might say, fuck, I can't write. I can't produce video. I'm not comfortable with this, but damn, I'm a great photographer. Take pictures of the city of Toronto. We'll use Toronto because we're there. Go around, take thousands of pictures of all the areas in the greater Toronto area. I'm born and raised here, lived here my whole life. I'm sure you can take a picture of an alley that I don't know, post it and say, what alley is this? First person to get it gets my free copy of the book. See how it starts to kind of all play hand in hand with each other, but you gotta get started.
Let me say something. First of all, recap your 5. So CRM, touch, 3 was?
So first and foremost, get the CRM. Then you gotta make sure that you touch people, okay? And then the third thing is do some type of online webinars, okay? The fourth thing, and when I say online webinars, that's essentially you're building relationships.
Building relationships,
okay? Fourth is making phone calls. Fourth is delegation, I apologize.
Delegation and build out.
And then fifth is producing content.
Okay. I think what it all boils down to is this. Everybody's going to do things different. For Broker's Playbook, this is my partner, Jas. The reason I wanted to do this so bad is because I have a very deep understanding of the way he thinks because we've worked together for 15 years and vice versa. We truly know how to play off each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I wanted to share this today is because this is how we did it. So we got from zero, joining Royal LePage Signature 12 and a half years ago, going through a crazy journey to the absolute pinnacle of the Royal LePage organization, being a number 1 for most transactions.
12 and a half years ago, just so everybody understands, we were number 39.
Right.
Number 39 in the country. As we came in that first year, we got...
So go back 15 when we were 0.
So yes.
When the formation.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to get at is we have a real life example that is us. That we're not taking it to say, you know, like, oh my God. I'm saying the exact opposite. Broker's Playbook is to elevate this industry. Broker's Playbook is to build collaborations with each other, to really do more, do things better, and have more fun, meaning that you're not hating on each other, you're actually loving on each other while we build a community that works for us. Jazzy, I want to thank you. A big thank you.
I love you, my man. I love you.
For coming on. I think we're going to have a lot of fun building out some more stuff in the next few weeks. I also want to let you know that I have Rachel Hammer, one of the top teams in Ottawa, coming on. And she's going to share with us. I actually met her in Portugal at the Chairman's Awards. And she actually had a featured speech there where she shared how and why she built a team and what criteria she used to do so. So Your number 4 was to scale.
Hmm.
Your number 4 is going to be a complete detailed breakdown
Love it.
on when you should be thinking of building a team, how and why. If you think you're going to build a team just for the hell of it,
Yeah.
it's a mistake.
Right.
You don't do things for the sake of doing things.
Right.
You need to understand what your strengths are. Are you the right person to lead a team?
Right.
Or are you the right person to join a team?
Right.
Regardless, if you're joining a team, you're scaling because you're going to take advantage of other people's infrastructure. If you're a leader and you feel that that's where you need to go, you're scaling because you'll be able to delegate.
Yeah.
So regardless, there's huge wins. Jazzy, thank you
Thank
for
you.
Broker's Playbook. This is Simeon, my boy Jas Takhar. We'll see you soon.